Hello guys, so I'm here to explain about the marine environment, the sources of marine pollution, and the MARPOL Convention. So what is marine environment? So a marine environment encompasses the sea and in estuaries of water, the seabed and its subsoils, and all marine wildlife of all the seas. So, given its importance of the marine environment to the ecosystem, it must be protected, conserved, and properly valued. Seas and oceans must kept biologically diverse and dynamic as well as safe, healthy, and productive because it can benefit us humans. Next is the major sources of oil, which is one of the major sources of marine pollution. So, oil spill is dangerous to marine life in several ways. The oil spilled in the ocean could get dangerous to the gills, feathers of such fishes because they can absorb it, and it could kill marine animals, which makes it difficult for them to move or swim properly and feed their children. That's why it could make the marine life extinct in some ways if it could not be prevented or acted accordingly. And so most of the debris in the ocean does not decompose and remain in the ocean for years. Thus, it uses oxygen as it degrades. As a result of this, oxygen levels go down, and then when oxygen levels go down, the chances of survival of marine animals like whales, turtles, sharks, dolphins, penguins, and long time all goes down. And lastly is the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, or the MARPOL. So the MARPOL Convention was adopted on 2nd of November 1973 at the International Maritime Organization, or the IMO. The Protocol 1978 was adopted to respond a spate of tanker accidents in 1976 to 1977. As the 1973 MARPOL Convention had not yet entered into force, the 1978 MARPOL Protocol absorbed the parent convention. So the convention includes regulations aimed at preventing and minimizing pollution from ships, both accidental pollution and that from routine operations, and currently includes 6 technical annexes with special areas, and strict protocols on operational discharges are included in most annexes. So first, the Annex 1 is the regulations for prevention of pollution by oil. So this covers the prevention of pollution by oil from operational measures as well as from accidental discharges of the 1992 amendments to Annex 1, which made it mandatory for new oil tankers to have double hulls and brought in a phase-in schedule for existing tankers to fit double hulls. Next is the Annex 2, which is the regulations for control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in bulk. Details the discharge criteria and measures for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances carried in bulk, because some 250 substances were evaluated and included in the list that is appended to the convention. Next is the Annex 3, which covers the prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried by sea in packaged form. And it contains the general requirements for issuing of detailed standards on packing, marking, labeling, documentation, stowage, quantity limitations, exceptions, and notifications of cargoes. Next is the Annex 4, which is the prevention of pollution by sewage from ships. Contains requirements to control pollution by sea by using the sewage. The discharge of sewage into the sea is highly prohibited because it could damage the marine life, which was explained by the IMO that it could greatly affect the marine wildlife when you through sewage on ships. And the ship, except when a ship is in operational and approved sewage treatment plant, when the ship is discharging communicated and disinfected sewage using an approved system at a distance of more than 3 nautical miles from the nearest land. So it is okay if you are approved. And next is the Annex 5, which is the prevention of pollution by garbage from ships. Deals with the different types of garbage and specifies the distances from land and the manner in which they may be disposed of. The most important feature of the annex is the complete ban on impose and disposal of all sea forms from plastics. The last annex is the Annex 6, which is newly entered force on May 19th, 2005, sets limits on sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide emissions from ship exhausts and prohibits deliberate emissions of ozone depleting substances. Designated emission control areas set more stringent standards for SOx, NOx, and particle matter. So that regulates the emission from ships, which can cause an air pollution coming from the funnel of each ships and emitted by them. So that's all.